In the indie title Donut Country, you play as a sinkhole that grows each time you consume something, starting small with plants and eventually swallowing up whole houses. The story is filled with endearing characters that revolves around a raccoon named BK and his human friend Mira. Together they work at a donut shop, but unlike your typical donut shop, the residents who order donuts actually get sinkholes sent to them, which ends up sending them 999 feet below the surface. Donut Country is described as a physics-based puzzle game, as your main purpose is to figure out how you can grow your expanding hole to consume progressively larger objects. It is currently $13 on the PlayStation Store and Steam. The game has about 20 levels and took me a little over 2 hours to complete. In this video, I'll be giving you 42 facts about the more tasty variety, the donuts we eat, not the donuts that eat us. In the mid-19th century, Elizabeth Gregory put hazelnuts or walnuts together with lemon rind to prevent scurvy on long voyages in the center of deep-fried dough, where the dough might not cook through, hence the word donuts. Some say her son poked a hole through the center using one of the spokes of the ship's wheel during a storm, giving them their iconic shape. During World War I, women volunteers brought soldiers on the front lines donuts to remind them of home, and when they returned, had more of a craving for them. The first donut machine was created by Adolf Levitt, a Russian refugee living in New York City in 1920 who sold donuts from his bakery. In 1934, a donut cost less than a nickel. Joe LeBeau sold the secret recipe and the name of Krispy Kreme to a Kentucky store owner named Ishmael Armstrong. Armstrong's son, Vernon Rudolph, started selling the donuts door to door before opening a retail store where the public could see the donuts being made. During World War II, Red Cross women became known as donut dollies and served those who enlisted with donuts, similar to World War I, making donuts even more popular. Dunkin' Donuts started in Massachusetts in 1950. Dunkin' Donuts has stores in twice as many states as Krispy Kreme and in 37 other countries, and sells nearly 5 times as many donuts worldwide. Donuts is the more traditional spelling, although its shortened form, donut, is also used, made popular in America by the Dunkin' Donut stores. In the United States alone, about 10 billion donuts are made every year. The average donut contains 300 calories, mainly from sugar and fat. To this day, nobody but Krispy Kreme has Joe LeBeau's secret recipe that stays locked up in a safe in Winston-Salem. The French equivalent of a donut, a fried dough fritter, roughly translates to nun farts. Ever wonder where the cops loving donuts stereotype started from? Police officers would visit donut shops after their graveyard shifts because they were one of the few places open late. It was a mutually beneficial relationship as the donut shops welcomed the police to deter crime. November 5th and the first Friday in June are National Donut Day. National Donut Day was officially established in 1938 by the Chicago Salvation Army to raise money during the Great Depression. January 12th is National Glazed Donut Day. June 8th is National Jelly-Filled Donut Day. September 14th is National Cream-Filled Donut Day. Can be some crazy flavors and donut creations. Some unique donut flavors include wasabi cheese, bubblegum, and chicken and waffle. If a person added one donut a day to their regular diet, they would gain about 1 extra pound every 10 days. The largest donut ever made weighed 1.7 tons. It was a jelly donut made in New York on January 21st, 1993. Canada eats the most donuts and has the most donut shops adjusting for population of any country in the world. The original donut from Dunkin' Donuts had a handle. In geometry, the name of a donut shape is called a torus or a toroid. The donut industry in California is controlled primarily by Cambodian immigrants. Researchers have said that the size of the donut hole correlates with the quality of the economy. Specifically, the worse the economy, the bigger the donut hole. Only 8% of Dunkin' Donuts sales are from donuts. Today, Entenmann's Donut Bakery in Pennsylvania is the largest donut bakery in the United States. Entenmann's makes about 780 million donuts every year and has made more than 4 billion donuts in total. If you laid them out end to end, it can circle the Earth almost 9 times. It would take about 3,660 donuts to reach the top of the Statue of Liberty. The filled donut is a flattened sphere injected with fruit preservatives, cream, custard, or other sweet fillings, and often dipped into powdered sugar or topped off with frosting. Krispy Kreme once created the most expensive donut, costing around $1,400. It was created of gilded leaves, a gold-dusted Belgian chocolate flour, and edible diamonds. It was used to support the UK Children's Trust charity. The first mention of donuts in print was by Washington Irving, the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. In Oregon, a donut shop called Voodoo Donuts once offered donuts coated in Pepto-Bismol and NyQuil, but you won't be able to get it now because the FDA eventually put a stop to it. The Cronut, which is a croissant donut combination, contains about 1,330 calories. Donuts can also take a variety of different shapes, including rings, balls, flattened spheres, as well as ear shapes and twists. The first donut may have originally been a mistake. One story says that the first donut was created by a cow who kicked over a pot of oil into a mixture of pastries. Not surprisingly, there are people named Donut. However, there are only about 10 as of 2011. And my favorite fact, a Krispy Kreme store in the UK once advertised a weekly children's program and dubbed it Krispy Kreme Club Wednesday, shortened to KKK Wednesday. You can imagine why that was a bad idea. Brown University takes part in a tradition called the Naked Donut Run. It started with naked students handing out donuts to their peers studying for final exams in the library. The Dutch are often credited with bringing donuts to the US in the 1800s. The Dutch word translates to oily cakes. And there you go. Those were 42 facts about donuts while watching Donut Country. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys learned about donuts, and I'll see you guys next time.